Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Kelton. For my last story, I like to do a character study. I'm going to do the character study of my grandfather, Amos Whitlock, who was born in 1914 in Huntsville, Alabama. He was the brother of 8 siblings, of which all of them lived to be in their 90s, including him. He was raised on a farm, raised to be very prejudiced, he owned a store when I was a kid, and he had nobody in his store besides white folks. He would not allow anyone there in the store besides white folks. He had a hatred for women. He did not treat my grandmother or my mother well at all, or her sisters. He was a man of just bitterness, alcoholism, drank like a fish, mostly whiskey and hard liquor. Never drank beer often. Yet he was a millionaire. He has a store he ran for a while selling fish and bait tackle. He knew how to make money, but he didn't know how to be a father or a husband. When I was a kid growing up with my family, he would look at us and say, "Who are you guys? Get out of my house. I don't know who you are," because he was so drunk. He didn't recognize his own grandkids. That's what I remember my grandfather being like. You wonder why I'm bipolar, probably. That's part of the reason why. It wasn't just my childhood. And he began to show signs of this real hate when he was probably in his 40s, which had been in the pictures my mom told me this one time. And I remember my mom had an older sister that never made it. My grandma was 8 months pregnant in 1932, I think it was. And at the age of 15, my grandfather made her carry a bucket weighing 50-60 pounds of water from the well, and thus causing a miscarriage. When she was like I said, 8 months pregnant, she almost died from it. That's the kind of man he was. Later on down the road, when I was 22, my Uncle Bill was 32 years old. He was my favorite uncle, great man. One day, my grandpa and him got in a fight over $5 that my uncle owed him. They were both drunk, so instead of just asking him kindly for the $5 back and pay back when he can, he took his .22 out and shot him in the heart and killed him, his own son. The year before that, he had hit his other son over the head for years with a shovel, and it causing him to get a brain tumor at the age of 47 and go into a care home and die from that at the age of 48. So as you can tell, my grandfather pretty much murdered 2 of his own sons. So there's not a lot of love for him in my heart, but I did care for him in some ways, and I always prayed for him. And he did become a Christian man at 80 years old, and that's what I remember my grandfather to be like. I don't remember him being mean, even though I've heard stories from my mom about him my whole life, my aunts and uncles. But he, at the age of 80, changed his whole life. And at that time, I respected him as a grandfather. I actually called him grandpa for the first time when he was 80 years old. And started crying at that time and just told him that I'd forgiven him and that I loved him. And that's the man I remember. I don't remember the bad signs, even though he was a very bad man for 80 years. He started drinking at the age of 12, my mom told me. His father drank, beat him. So it's been in the family for years like that there's been a lot of trouble and a lot of history of just violence and domestic violence. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you. And I know it's a sad story for Christmas time, but the good news is, at 80 years old, he found Christ and he's in heaven. And that's what I remember from him. Thank you.